welcome back to another cyber self-defense video from Mosse Cybersecurity Institute. In this video, we're going to have a look at some basic Windows 10 security settings that you can easily adjust to help harden your Windows machine. So the first one we're going to look at is enabling Windows Defender and making sure that's switched on and the other settings that it has in it are all turned on to help protect your machine. So let's have a look at that. So what we want to do is we want to go into the settings. So let's open up settings. And we'll go to update and security. And in here, in this left menu, we want to go to Windows Security. And then we'll go to Open Windows Security. Awesome. Now that Windows Security is open, we want to come here to Virus and Threat Protection. So let's click on that. And as you can see here, this is currently turned off. So if it's turned on, you won't see the option to turn it on. And it'll have a nice little green tick here. But we want to turn it on. We'll click yes. And then we want to manage these settings as well. So you can go into it and we can see that we want real-time protection to be on, we want cloud-delivered protection to be on, and we want automatic submission on, and we want tamper protection turned on. The next Windows 10 security setting I'm going to show you is to turn on Windows automatic updates. So every time Microsoft push a new Windows update, which will have some sort of security settings in there, we want your machine to automatically update to their latest version. So what we're going to do is in the search bar here, we're going to look for the services. Here we go, so we want the services app. And now this list is in alphabetical order. So let's go all the way down to W, and we want this one. Windows Update. So let's open it up. And here we want startup type where it says manual. So we want to change this to automatic. And we'll apply it. And done. And that's it. Now we've got Windows automatic updates turned on our machine. The next Windows 10 security setting I want to show you is I want to turn on the hypervisor platform in Windows 10. So when it's turned on, the hypervisor platform helps protect the LSAS process, and that's responsible for implementing the security policy and storing the passwords on your machine. So it helps protect that process from any sort of threat actor using a password dumping technique trying to access the passwords to your machine. So what we want to do is we want to search a feature called in Windows Features. So we'll go to Windows Features and we'll find this setting. So turn Windows Features on and off. So here's a number of features that you can find. So we want to find this one called Hyper-V and we want to turn it on. So if there's a tick in the box, pretty much that means it's turned on. So we'll tick the box, hit OK. Awesome, done. So Windows has completed the requested changes and that's it. Hypervisor is now turned on your Windows machine. The next security setting I want to show you is that we want to turn off Internet Explorer. So many of you are familiar with Internet Explorer, and the reason we want to turn it off is because of the long list of security vulnerabilities that continue to be discovered in it. And these vulnerabilities an attacker can use to carry out any number of malicious attacks on your machine. So what we want to do is we want to go to back where we just were, the Windows Features. Here we go. So turn Windows Features on and off. And in here you'll see Internet Explorer, and it's got a tick in the box there. So let's uncheck that, and it's going to give us this little pop-up, but we know that we don't want it anymore. So now Windows is just going to update with the changes we've requested. Done. So now that you just have to restart your PC and Internet Explorer will be disabled. The next Windows 10 security setting we want to turn on is a technology called BITLOCKER. So in Windows 10, BITLOCKER is a technology you can enable, and that'll encrypt your computer's hard drive. So that will protect any sort of sensitive data that you have stored on your computer. So there's a couple extra steps in the previous settings, so I'll walk you through them. So for this one, we'll go back to the search bar and we'll type in, we want to go to the group policy editor. So we'll type in GPEDIT and it'll bring it up here. So edit group policy, you can just type in group policy as well, that will work just fine. And we'll open up this. So let's full screen it, okay. So how do we find the BITLOCKER setting? So we want to go here under computer configuration to administrative templates, double click on it and it will expand. And the next one we want to double click on is Windows components. And then here we've got BITLOCKER drive encryption. So let's double click on that. And then it brings up some settings here, but we want to go one layer deeper. We want to go into operating system drives. So if we click on that, it'll bring up a number of settings here. And then we want to go to require additional authentication at startup. And here we go. So see here it's not configured. So we want to choose enabled. It has a number of settings there. We want to apply. And okay. And there you have it. So now we've got BITLOCKER installed on and switched on your Windows computer. The next Windows 10 security setting we want to disable is the media features setting. So this will disable programs like Windows Media Player and in Windows 10 Groove Music. And that's because attackers have been known to run arbitrary code through the media center on Windows machines. So this feature, along with the next couple of features, they're all in the Windows features area, which we've previously been to. So we'll keep that open for the next few features. And what we want to look for is the media features here, and then we want to disable it. Okay, and then it will just apply the changes. All done. So now my media features on my Windows 10 machine has been turned off. The next Windows feature that I want us to disable is we've got a double whammy here. We've got SMB version 1 and SMB Direct. So you can disable those in the Windows features area here, which you should be pretty familiar with by now. And let's scroll down here. So we've got SMB 1.0 and SMB Direct. So we'll start with SMB 1.0. We want to uncheck that because SMB 1.0 is the oldest version of the SMB protocol. So it's pretty old, and by disabling this, will help protect your machine from a number of ransomware attacks that were able to exploit a vulnerability found in it. As well as that, we've got SMB Direct, so we'll uncheck that as well. And the reason we're doing that for SMB Direct is it's just an extension of the SMB protocol, but it helps use higher speeds of memory when transferring larger files and larger amounts of data. So disabling this, it'll just help protect your machine from a number of general SMB vulnerabilities. So what we want to do is hit OK and apply these changes. Done. So these changes require a reboot of the machine, but that's it. And now we've got SMB disabled in version 1 and SMB direct. The next Windows feature we want to disable is back in the Windows features area here, and we want to disable the TELNET feature. So let's scroll down and find it, and here we've got the TELNET client. So we'll uncheck that box. And the reason why we want to do this is TELNET, it's not widely supported anymore and poses as a security risk by staying on your machine, mainly because if someone can connect to the TELNET, it sends passwords and usernames for logins through clear text. So we'll uncheck that box, hit OK and apply the change. Perfect. Now this just requires a reboot of the machine, but now we've disabled TELNET and your machine's a lot safer. The next Windows feature that we want to disable is the TFTP feature. So TFTP is a software utility for transferring files using a non-secure connection. So this obviously poses as a security risk because it has no authentication, no access controls, and no built-in encryption. So we find it in the Windows features area, again, like the previous few features we've changed. And let's scroll down until we find it here. TFTP client, we'll uncheck the box and we'll hit OK to apply the change. And done. That change is now been applied and your Windows machines are even more safer again now. The next Windows feature we want to turn off is PowerShell 2.0. So you can find this in the same Windows feature area, which you're probably an expert in by now with how much we've gone through it. And let's scroll down until we find this one. So it'll be Windows PowerShell 2.0, and you see it's ticked, so we want to just uncheck that box. And the reason why we want to do it is this is an old version of PowerShell. Like for example, right now we're on PowerShell version 5, and the main reason is with PowerShell 2.0, it is a security risk because if a attacker is able to run a malicious script in that version of PowerShell, they can just run it. There's nothing to stop it. Whereas in the newer versions of PowerShell, they do have the ability to prevent certain malicious scripts from running. And then we'll just hit OK to apply the change. And all done. So now PowerShell 2.0 has been disabled.